Today marks the release of the cyberpunk noir title Nobody Wants to Die from the Polish studio Critical Hit. Until now, we had only seen some gameplay and trailers with no information on price or playtime, but now we have those details. The game is priced at $25. The low price is likely due to the relatively short playtime, which ranges between 4.5 and 7 hours, with the latter being a rough estimate for those who take their time. In any case, the game has been completed in as little as 4.5 hours. The developers mentioned they worked on the title for 4 years, and I think you can tell. From what I've seen of the gameplay, I have no complaints about the quality. It's not a AAA production, but it makes a very good impression both visually and atmospherically. Whether the story holds up, I still need to find out for myself. Nobody Wants to Die is set in New York in the year 2329. It blends a 1930s noir detective story with cyberpunk elements, which feels like a fresh mix. As James Kara, you have to investigate murder cases. Since people can now transfer their consciousness to other bodies, murder lacks a certain finality. But this time, it's different, which makes the situation unique. And that's why Kara is semi-officially assigned to it. You have various gadgets at your disposal, the most notable being a device that allows you to manipulate time. This lets you rewind to see what actually happened. Additionally, he is assisted by a young policewoman. This is clearly not an action game, but a narrative-driven title focusing on story and atmosphere. The key components are crime scenes and investigations, analyzing things, piecing together clues, and solving cases as much as possible. Nobody Wants to Die feels reminiscent of the original Blade Runner film, which also focused on story and atmosphere rather than action. I think the developers had this movie in mind when they created the game. I'm looking forward to seeing how the story unfolds and will share more soon. In terms of system requirements, an Intel Core i5-10400 or an AMD Ryzen 5 3600 is recommended, along with 16 GB of RAM, NVIDIA RTX 3070 Ti or RX 6700 XT or an Intel Arc A770. The minimum requirements are an Intel Core i3-8100 or AMD Ryzen 5 2600X, 8 GB of RAM, and at least an NVIDIA GTX 1660 or an AMD Vega 56 or an Intel Arc A750. Nobody Wants to Die requires 30 GB of disk space. The game is entirely in English, but it offers subtitles in French, German, Spanish, and Italian. It was developed using Unreal Engine 5. If you've already played the title, feel free to share your thoughts, but please include spoiler warnings and hide them at the bottom of your comment to avoid spoiling the experience for others. This was a brief overview of what seems to be a relatively short game, but just because it's short doesn't mean it's bad. On the contrary, if the story is well told, it can be a wonderful experience. Let's see how it goes. And with that, I'm signing off. Until next time.